Hello, friends. This is Giuliano, and it's time for another weekly roundup. It's the 11th of April, 2022, and I'm here to bring you weekly price charts for a bunch of cryptos. So let's take a look. I'm going to share my screen. And yeah, the close of the day is done. We are into the actually 12th in UTC time, 12th of April. And we will start with a BTC price chart. I want to recognize a couple of things. One is that we are now back into the Ichimoku cloud, and we will see how this week plays out. This is the current weekly candle. But what also I wanted to point out is in the previous weekly candle, we just broke right through the 20-week moving average. Now, if we look even closer, the candle before that did test it and found support, but it was weak price action overall. It becomes a deviation over the 20-week moving averages, could not hold it, and now we're back down into the Ichimoku cloud. So the question is, where will it end this week and what comes next? Maybe a little fight above, but just the weakness overall signals just why not come down further into the cloud? So go to lower timeframes to take a look, but overall on the weekly, I think if I'm going to really say anything that comes out for me now is using, firstly, we've got this Bollinger Band action here. And so the lower end of the Bollinger Band confluences with the lower end of the Ichimoku cloud. So I definitely think there's room for the price to come in here and play. We've shown that doesn't look like this 20 weekly moving average is going to be a support in this near term. So, because I mean, look, we've broken down so hard. So the next thing is, how long will we be down here? And I'm taking a neo wave approach. We're going to consider an A, B, C flat pattern, and we're going to look at a time where A plus B equals C, and that's going to bring us here using from basically high to high. That time is equal to around the week of the 6th June. So if we take the week of 6th June, that could be a turnaround time. So watch for some price action to hang around here and do its thing, and look for the price action to turn around this time. That's one possibility. Some would look for the price to go lower than the Ichimoku and lower than this channel, lower than these horizontal levels at the low 30s and into the 20s. And of course, that's possible. But first thing we're going to watch is we're going to watch Ichimoku cloud action and lower end of the Bollinger Band, see what happens if it even reaches there or what. Look for a lot of wicking at this lower end, at least at first. The danger was always for it to keep rolling over. But yeah, here, let's watch for more chop in this Ichimoku cloud area. I think that's the general sense of it. That's the BTC price. Let's move over to the Pirate Chain price chart. We're at currently 4,400 Satoshis. Oh, this is the daily. Got a crazy wiki, but we will see that it's also on the weekly. Big wick here on the weekly into the previous area of resistance. So what is next for Pirate Chain price chart? Looks like some retracement down towards this 20-week moving average. That's what we're looking for, and we're looking for holding that as support if it needs to touch there. The other option is just a pause at the top of the Bollinger Band and then going for more. But I mean, why did you do this to us? Although I guess there's a history of wicks on the Pirate Chain price chart. So let's not worry too much about that. That's really all I would have to say about Pirate Chain price chart. Look for that 20-week moving average to hold as some support, but that's all the way down at 3,000 Satoshis. So you would hope that the price will chop around up here before meeting the 20 and come slowly down before meeting the 20 and see. So yeah, watch out for that Pirate Chain price chart on the weekly. And look for the horizontal level here at 3,500 really should be the horizontal support level that we're looking for if it needs be. So let's go right here. Basically that type of level, but then, you know, it really came from down here when it went up. So you don't even want to test these lower levels here, but I mean, looks like you will. So hold it at 3,500 is the basic hope. All right, done for Pirate Chain. Let's move over to KMD price chart. Okay, KMD price chart. Daily price action, Bollinger Bands are narrowing. The Ichimoku cloud looms ahead above. Could be an interesting time. So where are we on the weekly? We haven't looked at this one for a couple weeks. Last time we were kind of breaking out of this area here, just about to. So yeah, so here we are, back down to test support levels, but there was some positive price action up to the 20-week moving average. Bollinger Band is narrowing, so let's see what happens. But the price could not break really and hold above. It broke above, could not hold above this key horizontal level. So it's still below there. So it's still weak below there. All right, that's the idea. But it's hovering. It's doing its hover. Now, question is though, how long can you stay in this positive momentum? I guess you can stay for a while, but it's quite small. So comparatively, so we'll see what this ends up looking like. That's KMD. At least you've broken out this long, I mean, it's connecting all three of the price actions here, and even this one here. So it does have some relevance. However, it's minute relevance. All right, for now, I think this blue line here has more relevance in terms of trying to be support. All right. Okay, so I think that's it for the KMD price chart. And I'm going to move over to the crypto charts over here. We're going to look first at the ADA price chart. Stick around, we're going to also look at the Ethereum price chart today. Why not? Look at it against BTC. Some people look at it, but not everyone. So ADA price chart is finding resistance at the 20-week moving average as was one of the possibilities. Also this horizontal resistance level. It has now become, it was first support, broke through. Now it's retesting its resistance. We are within the horizontal range from low to high here, which was already carved out based on previous price action. And yeah, I think at this point, getting rejected here, we're looking at lower end of the Bollinger Band is down here around the 2,000 Satoshis. Will there be a wick down to like 1,600 on the weekly and touching the 200 week moving average? Maybe it doesn't have to get all the way down there. And maybe it does. We'll see what happens. But I think at least to the lower end here is the call for the ADA price at this time. All right. Yeah, rejection at the 20-week moving average, come back down and retest the lower end, potentially move down to the 200. Of course, there's always the potential to move higher towards the upper end of the Bollinger Band, but there's weakness here, and so we'll see. Okay, that's it for ADA price. Let's move to the Theta price chart today. Yeah, Theta also pushed up to the 20-week moving average. I get the sense that's going to be a theme for many of the alts. I think we're going to also get rid of this channel now. We're done with you. Yeah, let's get rid of you. We're still playing within this green channel. And then I'm going to get rid of this one right here. We broke to the upside of that. As you can tell, it doesn't necessarily mean the price is going to go hard, but at least it showed that the price can slow down momentum. Yeah, good support on the previous resistance, and now it bounced up to the 20-week moving average, just coming back down. I'm going to get rid of this horizontal line as well. Okay, so that's where we are. Here's the 200 weekly moving average around the 5,500 Satoshis level, currently trading around 7,600 Satoshis. Okay, so So that's the Theta price chart. As long as you can hold your, as long as you can hold your 7,000 levels, you're in a good position. All right, overall, at least you're not in a bad position because you're making continuous higher lows. And after a big markup, you're making a significantly higher low. I mean, if we want to go from the bottom here, and oops, that's the wrong tool. If we want to retrace from the bottom on Theta, that's quite the retracement, hovering around the 61.8% level. That's quite a good strength. And if we just go from where it took off, you're at a good 88.6 levels. So, you know, and even from here, probably 78.6, there you go. So all of these levels, where the price finds levels here, it's interesting, but it definitely relates to these Fibonacci relationships. So yeah, either way, you're at a pretty good support level. Like if you can hold it here, good for you, Theta price chart. If you need to come back down into this level to catch where you started from down here, or even if you need to move down here, that's weaker as if you have to come down here. If you can hold here, then you're pretty strong. You're taking this previous important resistance and turning it support. I think that's very strong. So anyway, but you're watching this 200-week moving average as well. I think that the most bullish case is to hold the you know, this 68, 6,900, 7,000 Satoshis level as a support. Lower end of the Bollinger Band is near the 200-week moving average as well. So look for that. That's about 6,000. So if you can hold 6,000, again, I think you're pretty solid as well. That's the Theta price chart. All right. Next, let's move it along to look at the ICX price chart. It's been a while as well. Where are we? I wanted to do a second video last week, but it just didn't work out timing-wise. And so I have the opportunity right now to do one. I thought I might do a half, but let's just go as much as we can. Now, ICX also another one of the price charts that's getting resistance at the 20-week moving average. So let's see, it's going to consolidate further at these lows. We have these three levels laid out, the two green ones and the pink one down below, based on previous price action on the weekly time frame. Supports here, and of course resistance is here and supports here. So that's what's happening here, and it's just playing out the way it might have been expected. It's interesting to see how much time it takes for price to move places and consolidate. Sometimes when it's a big move from like a volatile move, it doesn't take a lot of time to go high to low or low to high. And other times when you're consolidating, it can take weeks just to figure out if you're going to go up or go down. This whole time here, you know, it had come down, and you're just wondering, are you going up or going down? It's just stuck in this range, and it ends up going back up. So here you're stuck in this range right now. What's going to happen? So I think a nice call would be Ichimoku up ahead, up top. Previous support, it can be resistance for some more bigger term accumulation within this box, but we'll see. We shall see. Price charts against BTC can get wrecked more often than not. Right, so that's ICX. Good luck, ICX. And next is DERO. We haven't seen that one for a week or two. We definitely didn't see it last week, but DERO is breaking down its momentum. Again, resistance at the 20-week moving average with wicks. So that's weakness. And now we're breaking down below the Ichimoku cloud. So the sense I'm getting is, well, this is a previous resistance support level. So it's definitely not surprising that the price would flatten out here. Having said that, though, I think once you get rejected at the 20-week moving average with these Bollinger Bands, you're looking towards the lower end of the Bollinger Band to find your ground again. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but I think some sideways and down price action for DERO is in the mix, in the cards. How low will it go? Well, we're going to watch these levels. Like, this is good price action here to find some potential support. And if you can ultimately get your support at 18,000 Satoshis level, then you're very, very solid, very solid. But if it needs to find the support here at previous all-time highs at around 14,000, well, that's also possible. And that was drawn out from back here. So time, it takes time. Sometimes patience is important. Recognizing the limitations of how fast things can happen. But anyway, yeah, in terms of like, you know, buying at good levels if you're buying spot. Anyway, that's another story. None of this financial advice is we're just watching the charts on long-term time frame and getting an idea of where it might be going, and enjoying and learning at the same time, based on, you know, the progression of price charts on a long-term time frame. Okay, so that's DERO. We are done with that one for now. We move to TRAC. Had some good price action the past couple of weeks, few weeks. Really, it was the 1 week here of 21st March week. And it again, also just like others, tested the 20-week moving average and then slowed the momentum as it was continuing getting resistance. But at least the price was moving up. So that shows some degree of strength. However, you're going to get testing this 20-week moving average, and there's a likelihood that it'll come back down. If you could hold this level of previous support resistance here, although that doesn't really count because you had some glitch in the charts here about the price action on KuCoin. That's another story. But it's clearly a level of previous resistance. And so will it find support level here? Or, you know, it already came to its 200-week moving average. So can it find a higher low when it comes down? And would that be at the Ichimoku cloud? But either way, it's tough. I think ultimately you pass through the Ichimoku cloud on this side, or whatever, you make it below the Ichimoku cloud, but ultimately you're below it, right? Maybe you cut through the cloud itself, or you just cut through that side of the knee there, the side of the leg. One way or the other, I think that's your trajectory, and you ultimately want to hold the previous supports. Otherwise, you know, that's just a lower high and you're making lower lows. That's not what you want. But the next level after that would be this level here, which is about 600, but then you're below the 200 week, and that's just, you don't want that. So ultimately, worst case scenario, hold the 200 week, okay, which is currently around, what, 850 Satoshis or so? Yeah, something like that. Oh no, sorry, that is, oh wait, yes, it is. I'm looking at the current price. I'm like, wait, we're not at 800, we're at 1500, but that's right, because 200 week is down at 850. Okay, what will momentum, oops, no, we don't want to do that. We want instead, we want to look, yeah, momentum can take a while to really clear out here. So having said that, there is room for potential push up. I mean, you still have room here to challenge some of this action, go to the top of the Bollinger Band level, but it'll be tough. You already have this resistance up here and you already got rejected by the 20 weeks. So unless you're going for a significant move higher, but just it doesn't get the sense of that. So anyway, overall, the rest of the market doesn't feel that way, but sometimes you can get a coin that you know, a coin that moves when other things are not, or it goes the opposite direction, counter to the rest of the market, and it's inversely correlated. So now let's move to BNB. Now let's see where that has gone since the last time. Yeah, we are below the uptrending previous support, now turning resistance. BNB as well, coming to that 20-week moving average, and it looks like it will probably get resisted here. That's a good chance. Of course, it could keep going higher, but yeah, just looks like we're ready to consolidate. If it can consolidate here, that's great. If not, it's going to push down lower to the Ichimoku cloud type of levels, maybe. Yeah, so that would be pretty decent drop for BNB. I'm not saying it would be pretty, I'm saying it would be a pretty decent drop of about 20 to 25% for BNB from where it's at. But ultimately, currently from the move below to the move up, you're at a 50% retracement. So interesting if it, you know, even hits around the, what is this, 850,000 Satoshis level. Is probably, even that is reasonable. And then you get a nice 78.6 retracement around the 80,000 Satoshis, 78,000 Satoshis. So, hey, why not? It's possible. But by then you're breaking down below this Bollinger Band. So your first level of support here is lower end of the Bollinger Band at around 88,000 Satoshis, 87,000 Satoshis. But at that point, will have just broken down this horizontal level, which proved to be a significant level of support. So if you start breaking that below that, you're looking at a more likelihood of breaking down. So we'll see. I mean, some of them like ICX and KMD are really at their lows, and if they were to break down further, that's pretty big deal, much rougher than BNB breaking down further to get support at an Ichimoku cloud. So BNB overall looking really strong on the weekly against BTC. Really strong on a long-term time frame. You know, this horizontal box should be good. I think on a shorter-term time frame, it's looking a little weak against BTC. All right, and that's again on the weekly time frame. All right, that's BNB. Let's move over to Link. Link has been pretty challenged by the previous uptrending support. Now, like that whole long-term trend line. The only thing it's got going is potential to turn into some positive momentum, but you know, on the weekly, this could last longer than the bulls want it to. So yeah, from the low, we caught these lows here and said, can you hold it? And no, it couldn't. So now you're looking at that as some considerable resistance, but also you have the 200-week moving average. So Chainlink broke below the 200-week moving average. It made that move from low end of the Bollinger Band to the top end of the Bollinger Band, and it just dumped right through the 20-week moving average all the way to this previous launch level, previous resistance turned support. So support again, but is it going to hold? We got Bollinger Bands all the way down here as well, which confluence with this level of support and resistance here, support. So, but at that point, I mean, you might as well, yeah, that's decent, but it's kind of midair. You're much more on firm ground if you can hold, if you're going to make it down here where you get the previous resistance and support. But then again, who am I? What does it matter? Who am I to say that that's really the firm ground? It is, because I would say, because you have this previous price action here. So really it's this level here that ends up being a firm ground. But if you can hold it above there where you had previous support, then that's, you know, but by that point, you've lost so much of this chart. I mean, this could be a life cycle chart for Chainlink. Who knows what's coming next? Having said that, to be fair, against BTC, you are making a much higher low than you previously had if you're looking at the whole cycle. So that's actually a bullish chart on the longer term if you can hold some support somewhere. If you can't hold support and it just keeps coming back down, then you've made a pretty big life cycle move here. I'm not saying that's the end of Chainlink, but it just shows like big, that's pretty big. So that's Chainlink, and it's on the weaker end of things. And how low will it go? Again, we can pop some lines over here. This is where it took off from and found that support. And then this was the level with previous support turned resistance, resistance turned support as well. And then we have this ultimate level down here, but I think at that point we can start drawing it in later. And if we want to look again at the retracement from this move up, we're looking at a 50% retracement. So 61.8 would be here. 78.6 is very common in the crypto. If you notice, our first line here, we'll color that accordingly. As you can now see, it is actually right at the 61.8. And the other one here is pretty close to the 78.6. The 78.6 actually cuts through the price action. So we were being generous there. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty cool. So can you hold at a 61.8%? That's a massively bullish type of hold there on a BTC price chart. But anyway, you got some time to watch out for that. Okay, overall, Chainlink is still considered bullish in the sense that it's making a much higher low so far, but where will it stop? That the lower it goes, the less bullish it is, especially if it goes below 61.8%, but it's okay. It can make a full market cycle and test this level here. That would be super duper strong as well. I mean, overall, considering you're against BTC price chart, that's pretty solid. Okay, let's watch Chainlink. That would be pretty sexy for people, I bet. All right, so that's Chainlink. Now, next, XRP. Let's just take a look where we are in relation to that Ichimoku cloud and the Bollinger Band and the 20 weekly moving average weakness. We are seeing weakness because the price tried to hold, but it couldn't at that 20-week moving average after rejecting at the top of the Bollinger Band. So yes, these lower levels here, previous support, previous support, previous support, previous support, lower end of the Bollinger Band. I think that's where we're going. Unfortunately, it's going into also a bearish cross here. So we'll see. Hopefully it's just part of the consolidation in terms of XRP bulls. Okay. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see which way this turns. 200-week moving average is all the way up here. So can it magnet up there and get rejected up there? That would be very interesting. Okay, that's it for XRP. Oh, is it time for ETH BTC? Let's just go through this side first. No, let's do ETH BTC, and then I'll do these ones here. I'll do these ones here on the next video. I think I'm done for now. So let's do ETH BTC. Okay. Yeah, I'll do my best to bring the next set of altcoins to you ASAP. Yeah, so the thing about ETH is like, it looks like it wants to cross bullish on the MACD, but there's also this chance that it's just gonna, it's come from the higher level. So it's a chance it could turn over for further consolidation. Similar to BNB, it's got a nice Ichimoku cloud below, and that confluences with previous supports. But I mean, the more you retest these levels, the more you're likely to break down. And the other big level of support then would be after you break down below the Ichimoku. I mean, are you really going to go down to 0.05? Just doesn't seem like it. So having said that, this is against the BTC price. Whatever, anything can happen, including just chopping for a long time. So, this brings us all the way to the end of 2022, and you're still just playing around on the Ichimoku cloud. So, yeah, no problem there. I totally think that could happen. Now, what else? Yeah, 200-week moving average is all the way at 0.04. I mean, that would be a big bearishness for it to come down there. But you're at these previous resistance levels and support levels. So that also works. It's interesting, but I don't know. I think once you start turning over, I mean, at this point, the first level of support, when we look at it, is going to be the 20-week moving average. Now you're at a previous levels of resistance here, okay? And you can even see it as these wicks, they were support, and it's combined with the resistance levels. I mean, it's a zone, it doesn't have to be the exact, but they tend to be pretty close in terms of accuracy. And yeah, so you're already at this resistance type of level. Could be like BTC making this divergence over the 20-week moving average. However, compared to BTC, it's stronger against BTC because look, you know, even though, well, last week it dumped through on BTC, and here on Ethereum, it just held above. And even currently, it's trying to hold above the 20-week moving average. Now, having said that, there's still a sense of uncertainty in the whole market. So it could also turn over against BTC, especially if things look more fearful going forward in the near term. So, or whatever, for whatever reason, these prices move, you know, it just takes one market participant to really flip things around. Yeah, so looking for these lower levels here, lower into the Bollinger Band. But first we have this 20-week moving average that needs to be break down. But once you start breaking down 20-week moving average, I think then your next best bet is down here at the lower zone here of this Bollinger Band, and then we'll see how much lower it needs to go. I would like to try one thing. I want to channel this potential flat pattern or whatever it's going to be, but right now considering it like a flat, and we're going to just do that and come down here. Yep. Definitely some room to come down towards this lower end and spend more time consolidating before getting a chance for another bull move to the upside. All right, that's Ethereum, and I'm done for now. Yeah, done for now. Ethereum looks like the closest one that could be bullish. It's above its 20-week moving average. I don't think any of the other ones were. Anyway, that's great. Thank you, Ethereum, for coming and joining the party. Look forward to having you around more often. And that's the Ethereum price chart. Stick around for the next video. I'm going to bring DOT, FTM, Solana, Avalanche, Matic, Luna, Atom, Rune, and we'll take a look at Doge. Until then, I hope this has been enjoyable for you. I hope that it's been educational, informative, thought-provoking. And I'm wishing you love, peace, and happiness. Okay, until next time, goodbye.